Hey, welcome back to my channel. Okay, so I have a cut file from Paige Evans called Simple Flower Background, and I'm leaving it on my cut mat. I covered it with gesso, and now I'm going to town with all of my, I think I end up using mostly only Heidi Swapp color shine, so I used hot pink, and then it was peach, coral, and then butter will be at the top, and this is the only time. So that coral, it seemed like my nozzle was clogged, and so I used coral cape or cape coral from Lindy Stamp Gang, and I'm adding just water to have all of the sprays and stuff like move around and stuff, which is why you use gesso. It's always a primer so that your pigments and stuff can move around the page. And some of these have shimmer and some of them don't. A lot of the color shines do, so the end result is very sparkly and fun. And this is what we always call, at least I take the verbiage too from Missy Whedon, this is controlled messiness. So as I take it off my mat, it's still a little damp, so I would always recommend for it to dry completely. And I'm punching out all the little flowers, and I'm keeping the center dots as well. What I'm figuring is that I'm either going to make this first layout with all the flower parts, and then I'm going to make another layout with the negative space. So I might as well keep the punch out dots. That way if I use some sort of background or something, I have the colorful dot to also put in its place. Now I will say, this is me kind of taking it off. Like I said, my paper is damp. It's not completely dry. I would highly recommend for it to be dry because some of them do get a little mangled. And so that's what I'm showing you. So here's the one spot of the dots in there, which is the opposite, and then all of the flowers. And so I kind of feel like I'm just going to work with the flowers. So before this too, I was also playing around with, do I want them vertical, do I want them horizontal, and I kind of end up liking this kind of diagonal confetti falling of these flowers, and I still like the ombre of the pink, coral, and yellow at the top. And so what I decide to do is to make sure that I have enough to have like a base layer, and then I do want to pop some up with some fun foam. So I start by putting some down just flat, and I save a couple in the pink, I save a couple in the orange, and I save a couple in the yellow in order to start using my pop dots for this. And I was saying earlier in other layouts I've been doing lately is that before I used to be a very leveled scrapbooker, and lately, at least getting this year my mojo back and everything else, I am getting more inspired by having the dimension on layouts where some of them are raised, some of them are tucked, some of them are over the pictures, so on and so forth. So I have been using a lot of my fun foam that I get at Walmart, the multi-colored pack of fun foam, and I have to say I'm almost like through it. So I might have to be picking up another little stack of these fun pages, and I'm just using the light pink ones, as you can see, making them into tiniest squares and putting them on, and then those will be the popped up ones. So the picture I'm scrapping is from Valentina's first birthday party. We had a baby Frida Kahlo themed party, and I made like 24 flower headbands for all my guests and the parents. I think that came out to be 24. I think that was the number I had at the end. But I think it was way more than that because I made, like me, my sister, my mom, all like special ones with like bigger flowers and such. And then I kind of did a little bit more of a cost-effective way and made them with like dollar store flowers for the rest of them on dollar store headbands as well. There's nothing I cannot make with a hot glue gun. So that was a success, and so these are just two of my good friends that arrived and that shared the day with me and my daughter. I did choose, so the pattern paper is black and white stripe. This is from Die Cuts with the View paper pad that I picked up at Tuesday morning recently. It's called, I think, Jet Black, and it has a bunch of black and white pattern papers, and so I like the striped and the wonkiness of some of the labels too. Now I'm going into my collection. This is some chipboard pieces from an old Dear Lizzie set that I still have. I think this is from, God, I can't even remember. It was like kind of the birthday themed one. So I just picked out a few that had like corals and yellows. Here's a sticker sheet from Maggie Holmes. I'm picking a few, again, kind of being monochromatic. So picking out the pinks, the corals, and the yellows. I'm using my title Wild Heart from this Paige Evans collection. I think it's from Take Me Away. And I liked it down there at first, but then I was like, you know what, you really can't see the wild on the flowers, so let me put it up in the top corner. And that is where it stays. I do move the wild a little bit over more, so it's over heart. So Wild Heart is my title. And then I'm going in with a bunch of sequences from Spiegel Mom Scraps. So Spiegel Mom Scraps, I am the guest designer for a quarter, so for 3 months or so you'll see some of my layouts that feature a lot of sequences. So I use Friesen for the season. Once again, I'm staying monochromatic. This sequence pack has pinks, yellows, and like iridescent colored ones, so I definitely love the color scheme for this layout. And these sequins become the centers of majority of the flowers, and then like the iridescent ones are just around the sides. I also take that tropical floral pack of wood veneer and I paint a few of them hot pink. You'll see that shortly. I have a few of them become hot pink so that they match my layout as well. I'm not always a huge fan of wood veneer. You'll always see me use wood veneer and I'm always painting it. So those become hot pink, and it's just inexpensive craft paint from Michael's as well. I think it was called like Easter pink. And so I'm still going around with some sequences. Like I said, I took the time to put yellows for the center of the yellow flowers and pink obviously for the center of the pink ones, and so on and so forth. So this takes time. This is not something to rush. You definitely need a fine liner for this, and in my fine liner is just tacky glue, or yeah, it's called tacky glue now. It was before named quick dry glue, and that's what I constantly refill and refill and refill into my fine liner. My bottle too gets a little messy from time to time. It's the sign of a well-loved fine line bottle of glue, because like even if my hands are covered in gesso or media and mist and paint, I still just grab that little guy. It's okay. So okay, this will really wrap it up. I love the way this looks, and it's bright, it's fun, and I love the contrast with the black and white striped paper. I could have done a little bit more mixed media, but I love where it's at right now. So stay tuned for some close-ups. If you want to purchase some sequins from Spiegel Mom Scraps, I'll leave the link down below. And have a good day. Until my next layout, I'll see everyone later. Bye!